Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Nimble training webinar. My name is Michaela Anderdal, and I work in the marketing department at Nimble. Before we get started, I wanted to make sure that we cover on the high level what Nimble is, because I saw that some of you are considering using Nimble or you are just now in trial. So Nimble is an easy to use customer relationship management tool that works for you in Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, and everywhere else you work. What do we mean by that is that we know that most of us just work where we are used to working. We answer our emails in Gmail, in Outlook, we use different business applications, we prospect online and talk to our customers online, we talk to them on social media, and then we usually have to go somewhere, open up a new tab, type in our login information, and log everything manually. So we created browser extensions for all the main browsers, for Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and also for Microsoft Edge. So this browser allows you to use Nimble outside of Nimble. You can just hover over any name or that is hyperlinked, or highlight any name, and Nimble will help you create new company and people records for anybody, anywhere. And we also built in social enrichment capabilities. So we will also be looking for additional information about your prospects and customers online, enriching the contact records for you. And if you hover over a name that you already have in your database, Nimble will surface the existing records. So then you'll be able to do the next steps, add in a note, update their contact record, or add them to a certain workflow, or create a sales opportunity for them, and so on. Then, as I already touched on earlier, Nimble automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments into one unified contact record. So then when you open it up in Nimble, you see exactly when was the last time you talked to them. If you decide to share communications across your team, you can also see how your other team members interacted with a certain individual, kind of giving you the complete 360 view into the relationship, so you always know who the person is, what their companies are all about, what has been done with them, what are the next steps, and who is responsible for getting it done. Nimble is also available on both iOS and Android, and we also have plugins to Gmail and Outlook to support our mission to be the CRM that works where you work. So now let me go into the main app. Here we are. And today we will be focusing on segmentation, group messaging, and custom fields. And I will be previewing workflows. If you're interested in more deep dive and demo of the whole application, you can attend our webinar next week, or you can head to our YouTube channel and find the one we did last week. So we alternate. One week we do the entire demo, and then the following week we focus on specific features. So here we are inside of Nimble's contacts. I will actually show you the contact record first. It will also help us to tie everything that I was just talking about together. So when I was saying that Nimble allows you to connect your emails and calendars in, and then it matches all the historical information with the contact records, this is what it will look like. So on the left side of the contact record, you will see who the person is, all the information about them. You can quickly add notes, log any past activity, schedule future activities, so tasks, those will be Nimble related, calendar events, or you can continue to use your calendar in Gmail environment or in Outlook. It doesn't matter, we will automatically capture the information here. You can log it as a call, and you can also create custom activities. You can also message people straight from Nimble, and it can be a tracked and templated email to save you time, and you can create new deals. One thing that I want to mention here, something that we have recently added, is the ability to reorder everything that you see on the left side, because as we add more features to Nimble, like we've recently added our workflows, it can become a little overwhelming, and we understand that you want to log in and see just the information that is relevant to you. So when you click on the three dots here, you'll be able to reorder everything that's on the left side of the contact record. So you can even hide certain boxes or widgets. You can move them around. And we also added a new one that's called selected fields, and this will tie into custom fields that we'll be discussing today. This is where you can actually display any custom fields or any existing fields that exist in Nimble. So it can be any custom information that you want to input about your prospects or customers, any purchase information, and so on. So you can determine what you display here on the left side. And then on the right side of the contact record, this is under interactions. This is where we show you all the history, everything that has been done, all the history of communications, any activities. You can either see everything under all or jump straight to the specific thing that you are looking for so you don't waste time. So you can navigate to activities, go to tasks, calls, calendar events, deals, or any specific custom activities. If there are any notes, you can jump to notes. And notes are also you can also search notes by keywords. So that's something that was recently added as well. And if you want to navigate to messages, you can jump directly to messages, and you can also jump to a certain date. So if you know when that message was received or kind of know around what time it was received, you can quickly jump to it here. And you can review any deals in this section. And regarding data fields, so in Nimble, you have the ability to create as many custom tabs as you want. So if you are managing multiple different programs, if each of your company departments would like to capture specific information about their about the people they're working with, they can create their own tab. Or if your business has multiple divisions, for instance, each division can have their own tab. And now under each tab, you can create multiple different categories and as many custom fields as you want. So it really depends on your use case. So for instance, these are some of the programs that I personally manage at Nimble. So it's public relations. And then the types of custom fields you get to create are text fields. You can also create like a long text field in case it's meant for any information being copied and pasted, like an extract from an article or a quote that you receive from a client, for instance. You can also put links here and they will be a hyperlink. So then you can click from the contact record wherever you want to go directly. And then they can also be drop-down menus, like we see here. So you can make it easier for your team members to add the information in. We also have address fields. You can add like a monetary value into a field, and we have true and false flags that you can utilize. And you can also create a drop down from existing users on your account. So that can be used for assigning responsibility for different accounts to each other, for instance, or who did certain outreach to whom. So those are all different fields that you can create. So as you can see, you can create multiple information here, multiple tabs, and after each of the tabs, it's completely up to you how you define it. So you can inline edit the existing fields on the contact record. So under data fields, then you navigate into the tab, and then you can fill in all the existing fields. If you want to create the data fields from scratch, then you will go here, you'll click on your picture in the top right corner, and then you can go either to settings, and there will be a menu on the left side, or you can go to data fields immediately here. If you want to create a new tab, let's say we call it Test Webinar tab, you have the ability to decide if you want this to just be displayed on either just people record or company records, or on both. I usually just go for both. Then you create the tab, and then you'll have the option to create groups. So as you saw, the different programs and different initiatives that I had groups for, this can be, let's say, group 1. And then under each group, you can create as many fields as you want. If you, let's say, by any chance, create a field under the wrong group, you can also drag and drop. So you can, now it's not working, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So creating fields. These are all the different options we have. So we have short text for a few words, maximum 500 characters, long text, like I mentioned, if you want to copy like a whole quote or a paragraph from somewhere, this would be a great option. Select box, true or false flag, user field. So it will show you a drop down with all active users. You can have a date field as well. And then when you're defining the custom fields, just think about it from the perspective of you filling it out and your team filling it out. How can I make it easier for them to input all the necessary information in there so they actually do so? And then the next thing that is very much related is from the reporting capability standpoint. So you want to make it easier for people to put the relevant data in so you can then segment on it. And also, if you want to segment on the date field, it will be much easier to create it as a date field as opposed to text field, because then it would be hard to pull up in the segmentation feature by date, because each of your users may put the date in a different format and so on. So it might be more difficult to get accurate results from the reporting. So next one, address fields, and also you can do whole numbers, decimal numbers, percentages, and also currency. So depending on what type of information you are capturing, you can also set up integrations to feed information into custom fields from various different applications. So a lot of our customers are using either Zapier or Integromat, and they are many times using third-party applications like MailChimp or QuickBooks Online to sync these two applications together. So Nimble is essentially the single source of truth application where they can go to and find all the information they need about their customers. So for marketing departments can see what email list are their customers on, are they unsubscribed, when did they unsubscribe? And then if you sync with like an accounting system, you may also see exactly what they purchased from you and when, for how much. And then you can also run segmentation based on all the fields in Nimble and those that have been filled in from other applications, like I just mentioned. So let's say we create a short text field and name it. Let's say it can be a customer name. Another one will be it can be customer quote. That will be the long text view. And then email list will be a true false flag. And in my group number 2, I can say if they are, let's say, are they an industry influencer? And I may say yes or no, and I'll do a select box. So my first value will be yes. And my second value will be no, and I create the field. And now we can go on any contact record in Nimble to basically view what it looks like. So under data fields, under more, I'll look for my test tab. Was it this one? Ah, here, test webinar tab. Okay, so influencer, yes. Customer name. And this is the long text field. So essentially you can copy and paste anything or just write it in, and then you can create the checkboxes here as well. So these are custom data fields inside of Nimble. And I've been talking about the ability to segment your database, use it as a reporting feature here. So I want to show you what it's all about here. You navigate to it by going to the main contact tab here and clicking on segmenting search here. This is where you can segment your database by any of the fields that are in Nimble by default, and also any custom fields. And you can combine them, of course. So some of the filters that our users use a lot are names, organization, title, city, education, description, influence groups, and tags. So tags are the easiest way to organize your contacts. So most of our customers are utilizing tags heavily to separate their database into different groups. And you can also filter by any other fields, as I already mentioned. So you can also just start typing it here instead of having to go through all these categories. That will probably make your life easier. So I'm going to show you how you can pull up a list of all your clients. So I tagged all my clients as clients. Here they are. And I may want to further refine the search by other information. So I'm going to say and, because I want everybody that is tagged client and has birthday this month. So I'm going to do today until the end of October. And looks like it's just Alice. So then I could do, because the reason why you would want to be running these searches is to do something with the people that actually come up. So there are different ways that you can do something with your contacts that come up. So one very important one is the ability to create safe searches. So safe searches or safe segments are different from tagged groups in the way that they will be dynamic. So every time a new contact record enters your database and they match the search criteria, they will be automatically added to your segments here. So these segments will be always up to date and you can rely on them. By default, they will only show on your end, but you will also have the ability to unlock them and share them with your team if you feel like it might make their lives easier. So I can save this segment as clients, B-days in October. And then I will forever be able to just rely on this search here. You can further refine the search by other information. So I could also say email is not empty. And luckily I do have email for Alice here. So I will be able to send her an email. when you click on Configure Table on the right side of here, you'll be able to pick what columns you are seeing here. So depending on why you are creating these searches, you may want to just focus on just certain ones and not clutter your view with those that are not important to you. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to look for email. And now it's here, but I want to actually see it at the front. So I'm going to drag it to the top and I'm going to pin it first. So that will essentially allow me to do something like similar to freezing columns in Excel. So now email is at the front. And then I'm also interested in seeing the birthday. That's why I created the search. I also want to see when was the last time I contacted Alice. And this is something that Nimble captures for you automatically by tracking your email. So once you've had an interaction with the contact record, we will automatically update this. And you also have the ability to update it manually. It also, if you are utilizing Twitter and you have connected Twitter to your Nimble account, that will be another source that we will be checking to update the last contacted date. If there are some that are not important to you, like the address, you can just get rid of it here, basically, not to clutter your view, and then save it as a custom view. So now you clearly see the email, when they have birthday, when was the last time you talked to them. You could also go to their Twitter account and kind of see what is it that they have been talking about, or when you want to, before you reach out to them, go on their contact record. There should be other social media sites that you could check out to make sure that you reach out in the relevant way, and maybe you mention something they have publicly mentioned on their social media. Maybe they were just traveling somewhere, so you can bring it up. So save segments is one action you can take after you use segmentation to come up with groups of people. And another action is to mark everybody as important. So this will put everybody in a group that you can quickly access. So that will help you to create like a VIP list. So you can always quickly jump to marked as important, and you can make sure that you are periodically touching base with these people. You are sending them messages and engage them in other ways. You can also tag them manually or set up a reminder. So / reminder, I always say it's small but mighty feature. So it really allows you to stay on top of your network, because as it grows, it becomes impossible to make sure that you are continuously nurturing all the important contacts in your network. So you can set up reminders, and Nimble will help you stay on top of it. You can also change the owner. So if you are using Nimble as a team, you'll have the option to assign each other contact records, change the privacy, and you can also add to workflows that we will cover just in a moment. You always have the ability to export your contacts from Nimble. This may only be disabled by administrators for certain users. So if this option is grayed out, that might be the reason. And also this might be grayed out for you as well, because the admin has the ability to decide who has the option to bulk remove and bulk export. And before we go to group messaging, I also want to show you another use case, how you can run the segmentation. So we did the birthday and tags, but a lot of times our users reach out to us asking us how to clean out their database, because we make it very easy to upload all your contacts from various different places in, but sometimes it just causes a mess. So everybody's number one goal should be to keep the contacts in your Nimble or any CRM as clean as possible, so then you can rely on them. And also when your team logs in, they land on this all contacts view, they're not overwhelmed. But if you keep it clean and everybody has a profile picture and information filled in, that just makes you more confident about using the data. So in order to come up with empty records, maybe records that have been brought in a while ago, nobody is really contacted them, maybe you don't even have a way to contact them, you can run a search for all the information to kind of clean it up. So you could do email is empty. And then you can also do phone number is empty. It's empty. And we already touched on the last contacted field. The Nimble tracks for you automatically. So you can do, let's see, in the last maybe 365 days. So these people, I don't have emails, I don't have phone numbers, I haven't talked to them in the past year. And I could even go further, like Twitter is empty, or no tags, and so on. So if you really want to be sure, it also depends on the information that's important to you. You can keep going until you really come up with a list of people that you are sure that you don't need in your CRM. So then you can select all of them and remove them to clean it up. So then when we want to cover another use case, many times what we are seeing is a basic search by a, let's say, another tagged group, customer, and location. So I want to see if maybe I have any customers in LA. I don't. So you can search by zip code, by city, state, and so on. So then you can select the list of people here. And next action I wanted to talk about is group messaging. So group messaging in Nimble is different by marketing automation system in the way that the emails that you send from Nimble are being sent from the emails that you connected to Nimble. So not from our servers, but from your Gmail or your Outlook. So this will allow you to send emails to customers that appear as one-on-one communications and are not showing sent via, I don't know, MailChimp 12345 or something like that. They are not meant to be used to blast your email list. We don't have gorgeous HTML templates that you can use for your company newsletters. You do have the option to copy and paste from different places, but the way we designed this feature was to use it in conjunction with the segmentation, the contact segmentation feature. So then you can really slice your database down in smaller groups and then really target or personalize what you're saying in the message. So it really looks to the people on the other end as you taking the time to send them a one-on-one Outlook or Gmail message. So you can use these merge tags. So I selected the one for first name, so we'll automatically grab the first name. Then you can craft your message either manually, and then if you feel like that's something you might want to reuse in the future or save it with your team as a template, you can save it as a template, or you can select from existing templates. So I'm going to use this birthday template. In settings, you can put your email signature, and also before you send anything, you can make any last minute changes to your templates, and always send yourself a test message. So you are sure that there are no typos, links work, attachments are attached, everything just looks the way you want it to look. And then when you send it out, we will give you the insights on the clicks and opens. So you'll see when was the last time they opened, how many times they opened, and how many times they click the link that you included in the message. So then you can use this to send follow-ups and make sure that you bump it out their inbox in case they opened and click multiple times, but you haven't heard from them yet. So that's the group messaging inside of Nimble. And I also wanted to make sure that I preview our newly soft launch feature called workflows. So if you've been with Nimble for a little while, you are used to seeing leads here. So when we introduced the lead pipelines, they were in addition to our deals pipeline. And the idea was to give our users the ability to properly qualify their leads before they actually turn into a deal or a sales opportunity. So there's a lot that goes into that. And many times when you're using deals, the first few columns of your sales pipeline can become overwhelming with leads that haven't been reviewed, haven't definitely been qualified. So the lead pipeline was designed to help with that, basically properly qualifying it. And once a contact is qualified, you can quickly convert them to a deal. But we decided to expand on this feature, and we decided to bring workflows to other people and expand on the sales use case. So anybody in the company can utilize a feature that allows them to track their processes. The advantage of using Nimble for managing your internal processes is that any card you create, any task basically, will be related to a contact record. So you will be able to click onto the contact record and see all the information about the person, history of interaction, history of purchase, or any attachments, and it will ease up your collaborations. The idea is to save you time on sending each other links to spreadsheets, recreating things in spreadsheets, and just cut back on the back and forth, and having the ability to use Nimble as a single source of truth where you can navigate anybody in the company and tell them they're in Nimble, you know, this is how you find them, and all the information is there in one place. We added templates to kind of help to show our users how they may use it. So these are all the different templates that we currently have in. So you can use it for accounting, managing HR activities, investing, marketing, and we have different templates. So let's say you are outreaching, you are in the marketing department, and you are outreaching to pitch maybe certain people in your management for to be guests on different podcasts. So you can pick this template. These are the stages that are in the template. You can definitely adjust it, or you can always create a workflow from scratch. And these are the suggested fields that you can choose to be created for you as custom fields, because as I showed you earlier in today's webinar, it requires some work to decide how to name the tab and so on. So this is a way for you to just save some time. So let's say we decide to go with this template. This is where you can make any modifications, describe what the workflow is for, move the stages around, rename them. You can also set up unsuccessful reasons and then report on them later. So this is really useful because sometimes your prospects just fall off your radar for various different reasons. Maybe they tell you it wasn't a good timing, it wasn't in their budget, or anything else. So you can define the reasons and then use our segmentation to pull them up and maybe get back to them in 6 months or in a year to see if it may be a better time to re-engage. This is where you can make the adjustments to the custom fields. And I'm just going to go ahead and create the workflow to show you what it will look like. Okay, so maybe I already have this one. Okay, here we go. So it was just a problem because I already had one like this in my test account. So this is what it looks like. And now you'll be able to add context to it. So you just click add contact here. You can select from existing contact records in your database. I'm going to pick on Alice again, and I'm going to add more contacts here. So I have Alice. I'm going to add John. Okay. So now we have 2 contact records to play with. And as they move through my funnel, basically through my workflow, I can just drag and drop. And these are the custom fields that have been created. And you can modify the stages here, and you can also configure the fields here. So you can decide what you see on the card, depending on the type of outreach you are using this for. So you can create new ones, unselect from existing ones, move things around, and get rid of some. So really it's supposed to help you to immediately see the important things. So if you are using it for maybe if you create a workflow to manage candidates for a certain position you are hiring for, maybe you can create custom fields to note any important information that you already asked them for. You can attach files to their contact record to see, so for everybody in your company to quickly see their resume, their cover letter, any recommendations or anything. And to really help companies and teams to basically ditch spreadsheets, we also have list view. So most of us are familiar with spreadsheets. Most of us do live in spreadsheets. So you can recreate spreadsheets in this view, basically. So you have the person's name. Again, a big advantage is that it will be linked to an actual contact record. So you will see all the historical information about them, and you'll get a view into the entire relationship. You can move to the next stage from here. You can see all the tags here, phone number, and we have inline editing as well. So I can add her phone number, make any changes here. And again, I can configure the table to just see the columns that are relevant to me. So these are our workflows. Check them out. You find them, it's the 3rd tab in the main in the main application. And then if you want to create a new workflow, you just click here. You can select from a template, or you can create from scratch. So depending what your use case is, you can go through them and see how which may make more sense for you. We have one for networking and nurturing your database, for orders, project management. If you are in real estate, we have 3 templates so far. So if you want to manage your buyers and your sellers separately, or if you want to create a real estate pipeline to manage both sellers and buyers in one template, you can choose to do so here. And you can, of course, always rename it. So it fits your use case. And then you can add new contacts either from your existing database, or you can create them here. So if you just got a new lead, you can add them in either from inside of Nimble, or we also added this ability to add to workflows from Gmail. Looks like my internet is a little slow today. So you can add to workflows from Gmail. And also, let's say you are in LinkedIn. You pull up the extension here and hover over somebody, maybe it's not my internet, but it's my test extension. So since we are live, I just need to make adjustments here. So my apologies. Yep, here we go. So I can just hover over somebody. Nimble will help me create a quick live profile for them. I can decide if I want to add them to my database. So I can create a contact record in a few clicks, and I can add them to workflow straight from here. So I can do any of the workflows that I have previously selected. So I can add them to my real estate pipeline as a new lead and basically make sure that they are not going to fall through the cracks because they will be on my workflow here inside of Nimble. So if you have any questions about the new workflows, feel free to let me know. And before we finish up here, I also want to invite you to our next webinars. Next week, we are going to be doing a general overview and also mobile overview. So if you want to go through the entire application, that will be the webinar for you. The following week, we will focus on contact cleanup strategies. So we will go into detail on how to keep your database clean, how to work with your team on making sure that there are some things in place that will prevent you from the database getting messed up. And if it does, how you can quickly clean it up. And then the following week, we will be doing another general overview and mobile overview. For anybody that is considering trying out Nimble, if you go to nimble.com/offer/webinar30, we will give you a 30-day trial instead of the regular 14-day trial. If you're currently in trial, feel free to write us at care@nimble.com and we will extend that offer to you as well. So we will also be sharing this in the chat box and in the follow-up email as well. And let's review the questions that have come in so far. Terrence asking, for the last contacted by me feature, if you use Outlook for email, do you still have to have sent emails through the Nimble platform? Nope, we do have a bidirectional sync, so you can completely continue to use Outlook for sending emails and still rely on that being automatically updated inside of Nimble. Linton's asking, can I upload the company names connected to each name? So let me actually go back to Nimble here. So when you are uploading contacts, let's say in the CSV file, let's say in one column you have the person's name and next column you will have the company name, we will automatically create a company record for the contact for the person. So for Bryn, that created Social Sales Link, which is her company. So it will be automatically created and then the employees will be linked to the companies. So you can quickly see all the people you know at a certain company and so on. And also something that was recently added is the ability to add multiple companies to contact records. So this can be useful to create like a resume, recreate a LinkedIn profile inside of Nimble, or see if people are sitting on multiple boards and you can kind of see more details about who they are, what is it that they are passionate about, and store more information about them. So you can relate multiple companies to contact records. So hopefully this answered your question. Adam was asking, ability to use with multiple Office 365 emails. Yes, you can definitely add multiple Office 365 emails to Nimble. You just navigate to Networks and Imports, email accounts, and you just connect the one that you want to use. So as you can see, I'm using multiple 365 and also multiple G Suite accounts and also my personal accounts. So you can add multiple to Nimble. I don't see any more questions coming in. So looks like we have a follow-up questions from Terrence. How do you set up the bidirectional link with Outlook email? So this is a great question. It's actually automatic. So when you go to networks and imports and you connect your Outlook to Nimble, that's all you have to do. We will automatically be tracking the emails, and the only thing you want to make sure is that on the person that you're emailing with that you want to track the information for, you have them in Nimble, and that the email is correct on the contact record. You can have multiple emails on individual contact records in Nimble, and we will automatically track it. So the only thing is to decide if you want to also set up an Outlook sync. So this goes to my previous point about one of your main objective ideally being keeping your Nimble database as clean as possible. So we do allow you to set up automatic contact sync from your Outlook contacts, but we also advise to just defaulting to manual forms just to keep just to be aware of what type of contacts are coming in and why. So just to answer your question quickly, you don't have to do anything besides connecting the Outlook to Nimble in settings, and it will be tracked automatically. Sue is asking, will you have a webinar for Nimble Prospector? So we cover Nimble Prospector on our general overview webinars, and we can make sure that we go into more detail about it as we are adding more capabilities to that extension. So we can make sure that we will do that next week. But just to make sure that everybody is aware, it is available. Nimble Prospector is how we call the browser extension. It's available on all main browsers. I'm using it on Chrome, but we have it on Firefox, Safari, Microsoft Edge, and Chrome. When you go to Prospector on our main site, you'll be able to learn more about how it works. You can also find links on how to download it into your Outlook. And you saw that I also had it in, maybe you didn't see because it was still loading. So now that I removed the testing extension, it should load up. So you can also get it to your Gmail inbox, and it will allow you to basically add new contact records, update existing ones, add notes, schedule meetings, add tasks, then assign the tasks to anybody on your team or yourself, and get insights into who the person is, where your relationship stands, are there any follow-ups. Nimble will be automatically searching for additional information about the people, enriching the contact records for you. And the idea is to allow you to continue to work where you are used to working, as opposed to forcing you to go to the main app when you should be able to do it from the place that you are used to working, like LinkedIn, like your email inbox, and so on. The browser extension works everywhere. It's called Nimble Prospector because it's an amazing prospecting tool. So as you can see, I can just hover over anybody in these comments, and Nimble will help me create contact records for them. I can also navigate to people's profiles and highlight it. Nimble will read it and help me create the contact record for them by looking for additional information about them on the internet. So this is how Prospector works, but we'll make sure that we go into more details about it on our webinar next week. So I don't see any more questions. Let me just double check. Next week's webinar is at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern again. So it's 1 p.m. Eastern, Terrence, and we record all of them. You can just register and then wait for the recording. We will send it to you automatically because we use the registration list to send the follow-ups. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we also put all the recordings there as well. So before I go, I also want to make sure that I let you know that if you have any questions in between our webinars, please email us at care@nimble.com. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions. And you can also go under resources on our site and register for any of our daily Q&A sessions. They are at 9 a.m. Pacific, and which is noon Eastern time. And these are more troubleshooting live Q&A sessions. So one of our customer success representatives will be there. You can ask any questions in real time. They'll be able to share their screen and help you out. So these are our webinars. And we also recently relaunched our LinkedIn community where we share a lot of tips and video tutorials. So we will be sharing the link to that as well. Or I believe that my colleague also did so. Yes, so we already shared that in the chat box. We'll be sharing it in the follow-up email. So join our community on LinkedIn. We share video tutorials here. You can also ask any questions, and we are pretty fast to respond here. So it's a great networking and also educational group here. With that, thank you so much for attending today. Thank you for all your questions and your interest in Nimble. And I hope that you will have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.